Listen-only mode.
Swagatam. Today is Budhavasarah. Dinankah is, today's date is the 22nd. Dvavimshati tamaha. Dvavimshati tamaha. Dinankah. It's Wednesday, 22nd of June. This is the Samat Prakaranam, Testu Mangalacharanam. Ramo Rajamanistada Vijayate, Ramam Ramesham Bhaje, Ramena Bhiyata Nishacharachamu. Ramaya Tasmai Namaha, Rama Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham. Rame Chittaraya Sada Bhotame Bhora Mamamudhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattvalyam Ramanama Varanane Shri Ramanama Varanana Unnama Iti. Atha Shri Maheshwara Sutrani A I Un R Rak E Ong I Ouch Ayavarat Lan Nyamanga Nanam Javai Garadash Jabagadash Kapha Cha 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 Tav Kapai Sha Sha Star Hal Iti Maheshwara Sutrani. Last time we were just finishing up this example on this Saptaha example. Before that, I want to just, Vasu asked me a question after the class, which is an interesting question. Let's go back for 1 minute. Again, we are on this page, but we are on page number 123, on this point number 187. We are doing number 3 and 4 right now, number 3. But I want to go back to this point number 2 for 1 second, just answer this Vasu's question, which was an interesting question. And he asked me about, we use this Vartikam, which says when we did this Sarva Ratri, when we get the form Sarva Ratraha, we got this form. You know, when we're using that, we did the Pumvad Bhavaha for Sarva. Sarva became Sarva. This Vartikam which says that Sarva Namno Vritti Matre Pumvad Bhavaha. Sarva Namno Vritti Matre Pumvad Bhavaha. So when a Sarvanama, of course Sarvadini Sarvanamani, when any one of these goes into any vritti, it becomes masculine-like. It drops its feminine affix, if any. So now what are the 5 vrittis? And we were talking about that. Why all these nice definition of what is vritti, what is pumvad bhavaha, always refer to Abhyankar's Dictionary of Sanskrit Grammar. Very nice book, very authoritative. So this is the seva of the acharya that we can do. And there he explains that the 5 kinds of course, this one Siddhanta Kaumudi itself is Krit Tadhyata Samasa Ekadesha Dhatu Rupaha Panchavrittayaha. The question came then is that if the Sarvanama Shabda is going to take Pumvad Bhava Vritti Matre, as soon as the Vritti it goes into a Vritti, becomes part of a Vritti, then how about the Eka Shesha Vritti? Because if you recall this sutram, which is in, I think this is a bit of a digressing, but it's an important point. I was not aware of this before Vasu asked me. Is this one Sarupanam Ekashesha Eka Vibhaktau. So when you have Sarup, when you say Ramascha, Ramascha, Ramascha becomes Ramaha. The Sarupanam Eka Vibhaktau Ekashesha. So it becomes only one of them remains, you know. So not all of them. Then the question came to me was that when you take a word like Sarva, let's look at 1 to 64 very briefly over here. Let's look at the vritti of 1 to 64 just for 1 second. So that is the Ekashesha vritti, which we use all the time when we do Dvivachanam or Bahuvachanam of Shabdaha. So Sarupanam Shabda, there's some type of Sarupanam Shabdanam Ekavivakto Parataha Ekashesha Bhavati. So Ekaha Shishyate Pare Nivartante. A lot of typos here, I'm sorry about that. But okay, let me read out from the book just to make sure. So this is the Ekashesha vritti. This comes at the end of 1.2. And we have actually used part of that when we did the Subanta Prakaranam. So Sarupanam Shabdanam Eka Vibhaktau Parataha Eka Shesha Vibhavati Eka Shishyate Itare Nivartante. So Vrikshascha Vrikshau and Vrikshascha Vrikshaha. Now the question came to my mind was that if you take say the word like sarva in the feminine. Make sarvacha, 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 sarvaha. So that is also a vritti, ekashesha. So now, if that happens, if you make it pumvad bhavaha, it will become masculine like. It will become sarve. That's not the form that we want. So that was the question which Vasu was asking after the class. I was thinking what could be the answer to that. And there is actually this statement about sarvanamna vritti matre pumvad bhavaha is from the Mahabhashyam. And as you know, on the Mahabhashyam, the main Tikakara is Kayyatacharya. In fact, today the Mahabhashyam is readable and available to us thanks to Kayyata. The Mahabhashyam is difficult, not that easy. But Kayyatacharya has this comment called Pradipaha. It is called the Bhashya Pradipa or Pradipaha. That's Kayyatacharya's commentary on that. Of course, this is very, very old commentary, way before even the Kashika, of course, before Siddhanta Kaumudi. So Kayyata is an authority on this Mahabhashyam, including even before the Nyasapada Manjari, I believe. So it's right after Mahabhashyam came Kayyataha. So Kayyata and Mahabhashyam are almost identified with each other, almost. Anyway, so Kayyatacharya, and on that Pradipa, Bhashya Pradipa of Kayyata, there is a commentary called Udyotaha by Nagesha Bhatta. So on Kayyata's commentary is Udjota by Nagesh. Nagesha wrote many Udjota. I think one of them is this one. I think he had more of them, but they may have been lost today. So Kayyatacharya comments on that, and he says that Tadhita Vrittau Samasa Vrittau Cha. So this Vartikam, Sarvanama Vritti Matre Pumvad Bhavaha, is limited to Tadhita Vritti and Samasa Vritti, not to Ekashesha or to the other things. Now, some other commentators have said it Tadhita Vrittau, Samasa Vrittau, Sanadyanta Vrittau Cha. So, but in any case, Sanadyanta Dhatava, this is three among the two vrittis, but Ekashesha is not in this. So, Savanam Vritti Matre Pumvad Bhava is not for all the five vrittis. It is for Tadhita Vritti, and of course for us right now, mainly Samasa Vritti, which is what are concerned right now, and also Sanadyanta Vritti, but not for the Ekashesha Vritti. So, that was the question last time. So, this has a Vyakhyanam on that, which limits it to only these vrittis, not to the others. We are finding that Samasa Vritti included in that. So, if you're thinking, why not Ekashesha, that's the reason for this. Okay. That was just a point after the class that was to ask me some, I was not aware of this Vyakhyanam. I was not aware of this Vyakhyanam by Kayyata Acharya. So, okay. Now coming back to the last time's example of the Saptaha, the word Saptaha. So we're looking at this example, Saptanam Asnam Samaharaha. By the way, today Karthik is back, so welcome. Let me make you an organizer. Let me make Karthik the organizer. It's a long time. Welcome back to Karthik. Namaskar, Karthik, if you're there.
Namaskar, Satish.
Welcome back, Swagatam. Good to have you back. Okay. So, Saptanam Asnam Samaharaha. Saptaha is what we were looking at last time. So, this is the point in the book. We're still looking at the sutram of Rajahas Sakibhyashtach. So, Rajan, Ahan, and Sakhi take the pratyaya. Touch. We look at this example towards the end of last class. We are running out of time. So, the samasa itself is formed by, first of all, to form any samasa, we have to look at the, find a sutram in 2.1 or 2.2, samasa vidhayaka sutram. There's no other place. In the Ashtadhyaya, there's no other place for you to give us a samasa vidhayaka sutram. So dvitiyasya prathame, dvitiya pade cha, samasa vidhayaka sutrani griyante. They're all in the first 2.1, 2.2. And this particular one is what's called a Dvigu Samasa, which is not the topic of this lesson. We'll come back to this one a little bit later, but you can look at the number 2151. As we've said, that from 2122 up to 2222 is the section on Samasaha. So we have looked at that. So even though we don't have details of this sutra yet, but looking at the number, you can see this is a Tatpurush Samasaha. And then within that, from 2149 onwards, Panini starts the Samanadhikaranena. Samanadhikaranena means what? That this will be Karmadharya Samasas. Because Karmadharya Samasas Panini defines in 1242. Panini says Tatpurushaha Samanadhikaranaha Karmadharya. We looked at all this previously, so nothing new. So we are right now using 2151. 2151. Now, very briefly, again, we'll come back to this in a later lesson, so don't worry about it too much right now. is that dik sankhya sanyayam. Panini says that if you have a digvachaka shabda, a word which means direction, or sankhya vachaka shabda, a number, then they can be only compounded samadhikaranena, only sanyayam. Only sanyayam. It has to be a proper noun. You cannot make a samasa like pancha brahmanaha, but we can make a samasa like saptarishayaha, chaturvedaha. Because saptarishaya means specific 7 rishis. Pancha brahmanaha, there is no such sanya pancha brahmanaha. So that is what basically was said. And then again we'll come back to this in later lesson on Dvigu samasas. But then Panini puts one more sutram, tadita artha uttarapade samaharecha, which means that you can use a digvachaka shabda or sankhya vachaka shabda to form a compound samadhikaranena in one of these 3 situations also. When you want to use tadita pratyaya after that compound, so this compounding with a digvachaka shabda or sankhya vachaka shabda can be done on the condition that tadita is going to come in after that samasa, or uttarapada. This samasa is going to be part of a bigger samasa. It's going to be the purva padam of another samasa. You can say pancha brahmana kulam. So pancha brahmana kulam is a valid samasa. Pancha brahmana is not a valid samasa. And then samaharecha. So samahara is like ashtadhyayi. Ashtanam adhyayanam samaharaha. So you can make it ashtadhyayi. Ashtadhyaya. Of course, how it becomes ashtadhyaya we'll see in a later lesson, but that's this like panchapatram, like when we say the triloki. These are all, these are all going to be the Dvigu samasa, samahare. So in these 3 meanings, also this dig and sankhya can be used, dig or sankhya can be used, these 3, then sankhya purva dviguho. So in these 3 meanings, if it's sankhya purva, not dig but sankhya, then that's called dviguho. One more time, a dvigu samasa is a subset of a karmadharya samasa. It is sankhya purvaha, and it is used in one of these 3 meanings. Tadita artha uttarapada samaharecha. Okay, so that's what dvigu samasa is. So which will be we'll see in later lesson. Now, what do we have right now? We are using it samahararthe, samahare we are using it. Because our vigraha vakyam right now is the saptanam ahnam samaharaha. It's a group of 7 days. Of course, that means a week. Means 1 week. So that is the laukika vigraha vakyam is saptanam ahnam samaharaha saptahaha. Now, when you look at the alaukika vigraha vakyam, the technical breakdown is saptan pradipadikam plus am, shashti bahuvachanam, and ahan plus am. We use the sutram tadita artha uttarapada samaharecha. Right now we're going to use samahare is what we're using. Now, because why do we have to go through this whole routine? Because we have to make sure that this sankhya vachaka shabda is being used. It's using samadhikarane, so we have to make sure that it has in one of those proper meanings. Now, this dik sankhya anurti is coming down, so that is this dik sankhya is prathama divachanam. If you look at quickly, if you look at vritti of 2150 or 2151, we can look at 2151 briefly, and because we want to now decide which one will take the pura padam, pura nipataha. Will it be saptan or will it be ahan? Which one will go first? So dik sankhya iti anuvartate, anuvarti of dik sankhya. Taditarthe vishay uttarapadecha parata samaharecha abhideye dik sankhya samadhikaranena supasa samasyete. So dik vachaka shabda or sankhya vachaka shabda. So dik sankhya is the prathama divachanam. Anuvritti is coming into this 2151. So now we use our usual combination, which should be now second nature for you by now, which is the prathama nirdishtam samasa upasajanam in a samasa vidhayaka sutram. That which is prathama nirdishtam, indicated the prathama, in this case dig or sankhya. In this case it is sankhya actually. We only talk about a dvigu samasaha. That will be get the sanya of upasajanam and then upasajanam purvam. So this should be now automatic for you. Automatic these 2, which is the prathama nirdishtam samasa upasajanam purvam. This is how you decide in a compound which becomes which takes the pura nipataha, which gets the first place in the compound. Prathama nirdishtam samasa upasajanam purvam. So then we got saptan going as the first member. So we got saptan plus ahan plus am. And then of course these 2 also should be even more automatic for you now, which is krit tadita samasascha. This samasa padas, this samasa will get the pradipadika sanya. Then supo dhatu pradipadikayoho, sup look. Instead of pradipadikam, sup cannot stay. These are all very, very simple ideas. Understand them clearly. And this is how this is the greatness of Panini, how he dissects the whole language in the most optimal way, So kritadita samasascha and padipadika sanya for this entire samudaya, and then supo dhatu padipadikayoho. Now we got, so that was all straightforward. Now we came to this samasanta pratyaha tacha, which is raja hastakibhyashtacha. So let's go to Siddhanta Kaumudi, which is 5491, as I mentioned to you last time. Before using any sutram, if you can read the Siddhanta Kaumudi Vritti, that's doing namaskara to Bhattoji Dikshitaha, thanks to whom we are today learning Vyakaranam. Very honestly, without him, we are in a completely different situation. He says, Raja Sakibhyashtach. When you read this Vritti, these are Bhattoji's words, is what he has composed. This is like, getting his blessings to use any sutram. So even if you don't understand what it means, okay, after some practice you'll understand. Of course, if you have the Brahmi Vyakhya, you can also go there. If it's in Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi, that's like doing namaskara to Bhimsen Shastriji. So, etadanta tatpurusha tachyat. Tatpurusha compound ending in Rajan or Ahan or Sakhi takes a pratyaya tach. So we saw the example in the last class. Also in Gita, very first page of Gita, we have the example Kashi Rajascha Viryavan. Kashi Rajas on the very first page of Gita, right here. I think in the 5th sloka itself here. You get the sutram Raja Hastakibhyashtach, Raja Hastakibhyashtach, Raja Hastakibhyashtach. In the very 5th sloka of Gita, you have this sutram Kashi Rajascha Viryavan. Okay, so we got the pratyaya touch. Of course, because we do have the Tatpurusha compound, because one more time, Tatpurusha compounds go from 2122 up to 2222. We are using 2151 right now, so this will get the Tatpurusha sanya, Samati sanya Tatpurusha. So we have the sanya of Dvigu, we also have sanya of Karmadharya, also have sanya of Tatpurusha. Remember, there are 3 sanyas now. Now, the question is that how are these 3 sanyas staying together? Samavesha. How are they having? Because we are in the adhikara of the akadara eka sanya. Now, but remember that the sanya, eka sanya, only if those sanyas are defined in this section, which is from in 142122. Always keep an eye of which adhikara of the Ashtadhyayi is having an influence on the sutram that you are using right now. The adhikara is very, very important. As I said, it's like going to a different country with a passport and a visa. You need to know which government is in power over there, what they require. So adhikara, that's what the adhikara means, that they exert influence throughout that region of the Ashtadhyayi. And akadara eka sanya means in 142122, any sanya which is defined. If 2 of them are defined, only one can stay. Then you have to see which one is a subset of the other, or which one is defined later, that will stay. So then how come do we have 3 sanyas? There we have the sanya Dvigu, we have sanya Karmadharya, we have sanya Tatpurusha. First of all, Karmadharya is defined outside this section. Karmadharya is coming over here. So Karmadharya will not be bumped out by either Dvigu or Tatpurusha. So what about Dvigu and Tatpurusha then? How are they substituted? Because their Panini, as we saw, I think in one of the prior classes, is specifically he puts the sutram Dvigushcha. So right after Panini starts the Tatpurusha adhikara, he puts sutram Dvigushcha, the Chakara Balat. So both of them will stay. So Dvigu can stay with Tatpurusha, and of course Kamadhara is defined outside, that can also stay. So bottom line is that before using Raja Sakib Vyashtach, as we saw what Bhattoji was saying, is that etadanta tatpurushat tachya, tatpurushat. So it's also to refresh your memory, this samasantaha prakaranam starts from 5468. Within that, first Panini defines some samasanta pratyayaha, which are coming after all compounds, so samanya vidhanam. After that, Panini starts this specific ones, and there is tatpurushasya, starts from 5486 up to 54105. So this is, we are using right now 5491. So this will only be valid if you have a Tatpurusha compound, which is ending in Rajan, Ahan or Sakhi. So now we have, now what do we get now? We got the Saptan Ahan plus touch, because it's a Purusha compound ending in Ahan. Of course, first order of business is it Anubandha Lopaha by Chutu, and Chutu Takara Sanya Halantyam Chakara Sanya Tayor Lopaha, Tasya Lopaha. And then what happens is that now we're going to see an example in the book. If you look at the next point in the book, says that Ahan becomes Ahna if it's preceded by a numeral, indeclinable, sarva, or a word denoting a part of the day. Now, so now why is that not, that sutram is 5488, which you're going to see very shortly now, but why is that not sutram applying here? Atra kasman pravartate. So what sutram is this? This is 5488, which you're going to see in the next point in the book is ahno ahna etebhyaha. Ahno ahna etebhyaha. So ahna etebhyaha. So the ahan, this ahna is shashti. In place of ahan, we get the ahna adeshaha. Ahna adeshaha. And when does that happen? When it's preceded by a sankhya or an avyayam or a sarva ekadesha sankhyat punyacha. Any of these are the pura padam, and the uttara padam is ahan. Then that ahan, because the sarva, of course, the anekacha sarva gasti ahna adeshaha. Then right now what do we have? We do have a sankhya vachak shabda saptan. Then why not anno anna etebhyaha? Anno anna etebhyaha. Anno anna etebhyaha should apply here. It doesn't apply because the next sutram comes and says na sankhyadehe samahare. We have that right now we have a drigu samasa and samahare is sankhyadi. So this sutram specifically, this nish, look at this, when you see this na in sutram like that, it's a nisheda sutram. It's stopping some other sutram. That's all it is doing. It's only stopping some other rule when you say no. So now let's take nadichi, etc. No? So no nisamudjo. We've seen many of these before. So when you see this no in a sutram like that, it is going to be nisheda sutram. It's only going to stop some other sutram. So this one is stopping. This one, anno na etebhyaha. Anno na etebhyaha would have made the ahan into ahna. But this one says, do not do this operation if you have a sankhyadi samasaha, which is samahare. So 5489 stops 5488. Again, this we're going to see in the next example. We're going to see this in detail, next example, but it will not apply here because of 5489. And so now we get, so the ahan remains as ahan. So we get saptan ahan plus a. Now comes this, we have the bhasanya, of course. When you add in tadhita pratyaha, of which samasantaha are a subset of tadhitaha, which itself is a subset of the swadi pratyaha. Again, these adhikara vashtadhyaya are very, very important. We have the adhikara, of course, of pratyaha parascha. It starts from 311, 312, pratyaha parascha. And then we have the adhikara of the nya pradipadikat suaujas. So swadi pratyaya start from 412. Then within that we have from 4176 tadhitaha. And then within that we have the samasantaha. So these are all continue with each other. So samasantaha, they are tadhita pratyayas. They're also swadi. So they include in both of these lists. So now the moment you add any tadhita pratyaya, including samasantaha, of course, the angam is going to get, see, pratyaya means implies an angam. So now that because yasma pratyaya vidhi, sadadi pratyaya angam, right? So the anga sanya. So whenever you add a pratyaya, you create an angam. It's a relative term. So relative term, because when the adding of pratyaya creates an angam. So yasma pratyaya vidhi, sadadi pratyaya angam. The moment a pratyaya is added, it creates an angam relative to that pratyaya. So when we add tadhita pratyaya, we're going to create an angam. Angam will either have the sanya of either the padasanya or the vasanya. So always when you add a tadhita pratyaya, which is part of swadi pratyaya, in fact, if you look at all of these three pratyayas also are swadi pratyaya, all the feminine affixes, because from 412 starts, swadi, suaujas, then the adhika of striyam is also part of the swadi pratyayas. So any of these when you add, always immediately in your mind, check, does the angam is getting the bhasanya or the padasanya, of course yachibham, and then if that, and otherwise swadishva sarvanamasthane. These are also in the adhikara of akadara eka sanya. So these only one can stay. Yachibham is a subdomain of the this prior sutram because Swadhisha Sutranamastane is for any Swadhi Pratyaya. This is only staying with the Pratyaya Yakaradi or Ajadi. So now, of course, Sarvanamasthana is only, part of the Supratyayas. So when it comes to Tadita or Sri Pratyaya, there is no Sarvanamasthana involved. So try Yachibham. If you don't have a Yakari Pratyaya or a Ajadi Pratyaya, then it's going to have Padas. Then it's going to have the, if you have Yakari Pratyaya or Ajadi Pratyaya, it's going to be the Bhasanya. So Yakaradi or Ajadi. And in remaining cases, Padasanya for the Angam. Right now we have the Pratyaya touch. Of course, before determining anything, you do Anubandha Lopa first. When you say Ajadi Pratyaya or Haladi Pratyaya or Ekach, Anekach, all of these things, remove the packaging first. So you got the It Sanya out of there, became Akaraha, it's Ajadi, Angam got the Bhasanya. The moment you get a Bhasanya, so this Angam got the Bhasanya. Saptanaha got the Saptanah got the Bhasanya. Bhasanya means you have to go with Adhikara of 64129. Bhasya Adhikara. If you get the Padasanya, you have to go to Adhikara of Padasya, which starts from 8116, Padasya. So you have to call the subroutines, Depending on which Sanya you get, you have to call the appropriate subroutine. So a computer program. So let's go to 64129. There we have a sutram which says that Nastadite. Nastadite says that if you have a Nakara, we also in Angasya Adhikara. Bhasya Adhikara is subset of the Angasya Adhikara. So Nastadite, if you have a Nakara Antamangam, which has the Bhasanya, is followed by Pratyaya, which is Sanya of Tadjita. Pratyaya should be Tadjita Pratyaya following Tadjite. Angam should be Nakarantam Angam, which has the Bhasanya. It takes the T Lopaha. So we do have that. We do have an Angam ending in Nakara. This Pratyaya touch is Tadjita Pratyaya, we already saw that. So then we should get the T Lopaha. But there's a Niyama Sutram to that. This next Sutram, it says, Annash takhoreva. If that Angam is ending in Ahan, then this T Lopa only will occur if the Pratyaya is Ta or Kha, takhoreva. If the Ta or Kha is following only. So now, luckily we do have that also, because Pratyaya here is touch. Pratyaya touch. So yes, with this Sutram, which is the Nastadhite, important rule, Nakarantam Angam if you have, forward Pratyaya which is the Dita Sanya, and the Angam has the Bhasanya, then it gets the T Lopaha. Angam gets the T Lopaha. But there's a Niyama Sutram. If that Angam is ending in Ahan, that Ahan will take T Lopaha only if the Pratyaya following is Ta or Kha, Takhoreva, 64145. So the Niyama Sutram in this case cannot stop Nastadhite. So Niyama Sutram limits the Nastadhite, but we are okay because we have the Pratyaya touch. So Ahanityetasya takhoreva parataha T Lopa bhavati. So we consider the Nastadhite along with the takhoreva, Annash takhoreva, and we get the T Lopaha now. Achavantyadi T. So the Anbhaga of this Ahan will drop. We get the Saptan Ah. So now what happens is that because of Paravalingam Dvandva Tatpurushayoho, Paravalingam Dvandva Tatpurushayoho is when you have a Dvandva compound, Tatpurusha compound, then you have to take Paravalingam. This lingam will be that of the Uttarapadam, Paravalingam. But that has another apavada, an apavada too, which says Ratranhaha Pumsi, Ratranhaha Pumsi, Ratranhaha Pumsi. So Ratra, Ahna, and Aha is really only Pumsi. Right now we're getting the form Aha. So Ratranhaha Pumsi. So by that we get, because Ratranhaha. So we have Aha at the end, it will be Pumsi only. So this will be this is apavada for Paravalingam Dvandva Tatpurushayoho. So and then we're going to get this kind of in the masculine gender. It will also be singular because Sankhya Puro Digu Ekavachanam. So Digu Samasa be Ekavachanam. So specific will be singular, so we get the form Saptaha. Of course we add the Pratyaya Su, then do the Anubandha Lopaha. One more thing here, what happens is that now this Saptan has the Padasanya. So not only Saptan Su having Padasanya, but Saptan also has a Padasanya. Because we added the Pratyaya Am to Saptan. Supting, so Pratyaya Lope, Pratyaya Lakshanam. Pratyaya Lope, even though this Am went away by this Supo Dhatu Prajapadikayoho, Pratyaya Lope, Pratyaya Lakshanam. So this lakshanam will be there. Suptingantam padam. So saptan has a pada sanya. Then we can use 8 to 7. No lopa prajabadikantasya. No lopa prajabadikantasya. So which means if you have a nakara at the end of a prajabadika nakara, which is at the end of a padam, then that nakara takes lopaha. Of course, we've seen in form like Rajabhi and all these forms. We've seen like Rajan Shabdaha. So like in the word like Raja itself, we have used that. So so no lopa prajabadikantasya. So this one will remove the nakara of saptan because pratyay lope, because the arm pratyay was added to saptan. Pratyay lope pratyay lakshanam suptingantam padam no lopa prajabadikantasya. But now that's fine. We did that. But now how can we do the akasami dirgha now? Because we got the nakar lopaha by this tripadistham sutram, which is 8 to 7, urvatara siddham. This one, the akasami dirgha should not be able to see that nakar lopaha. Remember sutram 822, which is a niyama sutram for urvatara siddham. Again, in almost every class I mentioned to you that please follow these examples coming to every day. This is the backbone of all these classes, these daily examples. And we have already seen this sutram 822 explained more than once in the daily example. So we won't go in details in this class again. If you want to look it up, just search this website for 822. You'll find at least 2-3 examples of what 822 means. 822. So what is 822 saying is that it's a niyama sutram for 821. Purvatra siddham. Na lopaha. This nakar lopaha, which is done by 827, this one over here, which we just used right now, is only for these cases. With asiddham only for these operations, in the eyes of these operations. So sup, swara, sanya, tuk vidishu kriti. If you have sup vidhi, like rajabhi, does not become rajaihi. Rajabhyam does not become rajabhyam, because the nakar lopa, which is done by this one, is asiddha in the eyes of, Atovis, eyes, or the Supicha. So all these, it is asiddha in those. So it doesn't become, but Supvidhi, Swaravidhi, this is only for Vedic Swaravidhi, Sanya Vidhi, depending on Sanya, and Tuk Vidhishu Kriti. Krut Pratyaya is involved, taking Tuk, Krut Pratyaya involved, taking Tuk Agamaha. For that also, Nakar Lopa is asiddha. But for the remaining operations, right now we want to do akasama dirgha. We only want to do sandhi operation. It's not a sup vidhi, not a swara vidhi, not a sanya vidhi. It's not a tuk vidhi kriti also, it's not there. So this no lopa, this one 822, no lopaha, sup swara sanya tuk vidhishu kriti. Any new sutram that you have, any sutram you're having a problem with, by the way, just repeat it, 15, 20, 100 times. It really will stay in your brain a lot longer. You don't understand the sutram, by repeating it many times, finally the meaning will come to you and stay with you also. So only na lopaha sup sara sanya tuk vidishu kriti. Right now we have this only operation we're doing right now is akasami dirgha. So 822 limits 821. So make the nakar lopaha siddha in the eyes of akasami dirgha, and we get saptaha. So very interesting form saptaha. So let's run through it one more time. First of all, we have Dvigu Samasaha in Samahare, in the meaning of Samahare. And then we got, because Dik Sankhya Sanyayam, the Dik Sankhya was Prathama Dvivachanam, so Prathama Nidishtam Samasa Upasajanam Purvam. Saptan went first. The usual Supluk was done. Supo Dhatu Pradipika Yoho. We got the Pratyaya Samasa and the Pratyaya touch by the Raja Hasakibhyash touch. And then we had the Ahna Adesha was coming. Anna etebhyaha, but that was stopped by stopped by this one. Na sankhyadehe samahare. So ahan remained as ahan, didn't become ahna. Then we had the T lopaha, which was done by nastadhite. Then this niyama sutram which was coming here is anhash chakoreva, that could not stop it because that pratyaya touch we have, so we are fine. Then we wanted to do Paravalingam Dunda Tatpurushayoho, but that was overruled by this one. Ratranyaha Pumsi. So Ratranyaha Pumsi. So that was one which stopped by, became Pumsi. And then Digure Ekavachanam became Ekavachanam. Finally, we want to do this, we did Nakar Lopaha by Pratyaya Lopa Pratyaya Lakshanam Suptingantam Padam. And then we did the Nalopa Prajabadikanta. But then we want to Akasma Dirga after that. So this Niyama Sutram is the Nalopaha. Susupswarasanyatu Buddhishukriti, that limited 8 to 1. So we could see the Nakar Lopa could be seen by 861-101. We got Sapta. Interesting form. Sapta is a very common word, Saptaha. If you can practice this form, you get a lot of good idea, a lot of good practice with these operations, Saptaha. Okay, there was just another example in the same Sutram, Raja Sakib Jashtach. Now let's look at the last point in this page on the book, which is this one, which it says that Ahan becomes Ahna, preceded by numerals, indeclinable, Sarva word in part of the day. That was, we just saw that, in fact, as a matter of fact, which we saw this Sutram over here, which is Anno Etebhyaha, 6488. Anno Etebhyaha. The Etebhyaha means these starting from here, Sankhya, Avyaya, or the, if you cannot have Aha plus Aha, so this one is not going to give a logical combination, because to have Ahan plus Ahan in a compound will not make sense. So we leave this one out of this. So only take Sankhya or Avyaya or Sarva or Ekadesha, part of the day, or Sankhyata or Punya, these words. So if Ahan is a latter part of a compound, of a Tatpurusha compound, preceded by one of these, either a Sankhya Vachaka Shabdaha or an Avyayam, or the word Sarva, or Ekadesha, means a part of the day, or the a word which means part of it, or this word Sankhyata or Punya. Now, so let's take an example here, which is, the example we take is Purvanyaha. Pur means the first part of before noon, forenoon, Purvanyaha, before noon. So earlier part of the day. So this is Annaha Purvam. So this again is how is this compounding done, Annaha Purvam. This is by this Sutram, which is the Purva Aparadharottaram Mekadeshinaika Adhikarane. Purva, Apara, Adhara, Uttara. These four words, Purva Aparadharottaram Ekadeshina. Ekadeshin. By the way, this is going to come in detail in the next class probably. It's on page 125 of the book. Look at the book on page 125. This sutram is going to come over here in this point number 5b. We are going to discuss this sutram in detail. Okay? So right now it's the Apara, Adhara, Uttara. This Ardha is the next sutram, which is 222. So don't worry about this one too much for now. We're going to come back to it in the next class, most likely. So in this point number 5b, we'll take up this 221 in great detail at that time. Okay. So this sutram says that basically that these four words, Purva, Apara, Adhara, Uttara, they can compound with Ekadeshina, Ekadeshin. Ekadesha is a part, so Bhagaha. Ekadeshin is a tadita from that, like Balin or Chakrin, is one which has a part. So an Ekadeshi is one which has a Ekadesha, which has parts. But it should be the Ekadhikarane, should be a single item, like we take a body or a day. A day is just one day. It should be one day which has parts, like an earlier part, a later part, but not many days. Not the earlier part of many days. It should be a single item, which has a higher or a lower, or an earlier or a later. So the earlier, later, higher, lower, right? So Purva, Apara. So this Apara comes in Gita, by the way, in chapter number 4. Very nice shloka in Gita, which this Apara means later and Para means earlier. In Arjuna, the objection is Aparam Bhavato Janma, Param Janma Vivasvataha, Katham Etad Vijaniyam Samado Proktavaniti. Aparam Bhavato Janma. Arjuna says, but your birth is later. Param Janma Vivasvataha. But the Vivaswan's birth is earlier. Aparam Bhavato Janma, Param Janma Vivasvataha. So Aparam and Para, so Para, Apara. So this is the Purva is earlier, Apara is later. Apara is later. Aparam Bhavato Janma. So earlier, later, lower, and other upper, lower, upper. So basically earlier, later, or like earlier, later, lower, upper. These four words means Purva, Apara, Adhara, Uttara. They are compounded with something which is a single item which has parts, and it has to be ekadikarane, single item. Okay. So now what we have, but this is an apavada for Shashti Tatpurusha. So if you make Shashti Tatpurusha, what would happen? Like Raja Purushaha. The word Purushaha goes second. The Rajan, which is in the Shashti, will go first. So Sutram Shashti, why could we not use? Why could we not just use the Sutram Shashti and make a Shashti Tatpurusha? If we did that, what would happen is that because of Shashti is the Pratama Nidishtam Samas Upasajanam Purvam, then what would happen is that the Ahan, which is taking the Shashti, would have gone first in the compound. We don't want that. So these, what happen is here, the Purva Apara Adhara Uttaram is a Pratama Nidishtam. So that will go first now. So Purva, in order to get Purva to become the Purva Nipataha, you require this Sutram. Otherwise, Shashti would have come. And that the Shashti will place the Shashtyantam Padam will go first. So you're wondering, why can we not just make a Shashti? Why do we need this? Ekadeshi Samasaha. For this reason it is required. It's an apavada for the Shashti Tatpurushaha. So this is also Tatpurusha compound, not a Shashti Tatpurusha. Even though in the book he has put them as part of Shashti Tatpurusha, this is really a separate class, this one over here. So this in the book, if you want to make a note of it, in point number 5, B and C, these are not Shashti Tatpurusha compounds. If you take it like that, then the Shashtyantam Padam should get the Purva Nipataha. So Jatasya should go first, and so these. Anyway, we'll come back in the next class to those. So we get Purva Su plus Ahan plus Nyas, because Purva is the one Prathamanadishtam, and then I guess Sanya Upasajanam, because Prathamanadishtam Samas Upasajanam Purvam, so we get Purva Su Ahan Nyas. Now, of course, as usual, we do this supluk by Kritadita Samasascha Pradipadika Sanya Supo Dhatu Pradipikayoho Supluk. Then we get Purva Ahan plus Tach, Rajahas Kachibhyash Tach. So the Purusha compound, so we're using 2 to 1, it's part of the Purusha Adhikaraha, and we get this Tach Pratyaha Samasanta Pratyaha Anubandha Lope Akaraha Chutu Halantyam Tasya Lopaha. Now we get the Annona Etebhyaha, that following these words, which of these? We saw the Sankhya or the Avyaya or the Sarva Ekadesha. So right now we have an Ekadesha. Purva is one part of the day, Ekadesha. So this is the Purva is Ekadesha. It's earlier, it's one part. It's a part, which signifies a part. Ekadesha Vachi Shabdaha, and then we get that gets this Ahan gets the Ahna Adeshaha. Annona Etebhyaha. Etebhya means it should either be a Sankhya Vachaka Shabda or Navyayam or the word Sarva or Ekadesha or the Sankhya or Punya. So then we got the Anna Adesha. Again Yachibham. It's also Pratyaya, an Ajadi Pratyaha, it's Tadita Pratyaha, it's Samasanta Pratyaha, it's also a Swadi Pratyaha, Yachibham Bhasanya and Yascheticha. Very, very important sutram we use many times is Ivaranantasya Avaranantasya cha Bhasanyakasyangasya lopasyat Tadhite Ikare cha pare Yascheticha. Very, very important sutram, Yascheticha. In the Bhasyadikara there are some important rules. One of them is Yascheticha. It means an Angam, Yaschet is a Yant Sandhi being done. It means that Ivaranantasya Avaranantasya Angasya. We have Angasyadikara also. And Iticha. And Anuvrutti of Tadhiti also is coming down there. So when this Angam ending in the E Varanaha, long or short E, and or Avaranaha, which has the Bhasanya, in the Bhasyadikaraha, followed by Pratyaya, which is the Tadhita Pratyaya, which is what we have now, or the Ikaraha, Sthir Pratyaya, Ikaraha. In that case, this takes Lopaha Alontyasya. That E Varana or Avarana will take Lopaha at the end. So we do have an Angam which has the Bhasanya, it has the Tadhita Pratyaya following, ends in the Avarana Akaraha, so Yascheticha, Akar Lopaha, and then do Akasamidhira Purvana. Now again we use the sutram which is the Ratranaha Pumsi. And normally you would have had this one, Paravalingam Dvandva Tatpurushayoho, because ahan is Napusalinga Shabdaha. Ahan would have got Napusaka Lingam, but that is stopped by this one. It's Apavada for that. Ratra Naha Pumsi. So now we get Purvanha. And then what happens is we're going to get the Natvam at the end. So we get Pratyaya Su is brought. It's like Ramo Shabdaha, Purvanha. Of course, by doing the Upadesha Anunachika, it Rutta Visargav. So we get the Purvanha. Now what happens is that we need to get a Natvam. So last sutram is Annodantat. So let's look at 5. So this will be, basically the form is finished. We need to go to 847. Natha Prakranam comes from 841 to 8432, of course, which are well known to us. 841 is Rashabhyam, Nonas Samana Pade, Atkupam Nimbhavayapi. And then this one says 847. Let's look at 847. In fact, we should probably have it here also. 847. This says Annodantat, Adanta Pura Padasthat. If you have Pura Padam, which is the ending in Akaraha, the Rephat, so it should be, the Repha should be in the Pura Padam, which is Adanta Pura Padam. Do we have that? We have the word Purva, which is the Pura Padam, is Purva in this case. It has a Repha. And that Pura Padam, which is in this case the word Purva itself, is Adanta. So it has this Akaranta Pura Padam, which has the Nimittam Repha in it. Then what happens? We see that Adanta Pura Padasthad Rephat. So Repha should be in the Pura Padam. It should be Adantam Pura Padam. Parasya Annadeshasya. This word Anna, which came by Sutram Anna Annayatebhya. This one which we just used. So we just referring to this Adesha which we just did by the 5488, which we just used, Anna Annayatebhya. So this Sutram 847 refers to this Adesha Anna. So then what happens is that Annadeshasya Nasya Nasyat. So one more time, Adanta Purvapadasthat Rephat. Repha which is in the Purvapadam ending in the Akaraha. Purvapadam means this is, we're talking about a compound. Purvapadam means must be a compound, obviously. And then Parasya Annadeshasya. So this Adesha Anna. Nasya Nasyat. So when you use that sutram, we get Purvanha. Purvanha is the earlier part of the day. Purvanha 847. So that's what, this gives you a flavor of these samasa anta pratyaya. These are not the only ones, but we got a general idea of it. So this is was specific for the Prajaptikam Ahan, which is preceded by these specific terms, the Sankhyavachaka Shabda, the Avyayam, or the word Sarva, or the Ekadesha Vachaka Shabda, or the Sankhyata and Punya in Tatpurusha compound becomes Anna. Okay, let's go to the next page now. Next page, we're going to start this section of the Vedikarana Tatpurusha, which means that the as we said in the Ashtadhyayi, Adhikara Tatpurusha goes from 2122 up to 2222, and from 2149, Panini starts the Samanadhikaranena. So prior to that, prior to 2149, we're going to be focusing on these rules over here now. Ditya, Shita, Tita, Patita, Gata, Gatatyasta, Prapta, Pannaihi, from here up to 2148, and then also later on from 221, which you just saw this one today, in fact, as a matter of fact, all the way up to this one here, up to Kurti Paradeha, up to there. So these are going to be what's called Vedikarana Tatpurusha compounds. Now, so let's start with these. In the very first one that Pani, let's look at the book. What does the book says? Dvitiya Tatpurusha. A noun in the accusative can form a compound in the following participles: Shita, Atita, Patita, Gata, Atyasta, Prapta, Apanna. Prapta, Apanna. Again, now these are, I told you last time, by the way, that this very nice book which is available, which if you can get, it's a good book. It's in English. It's this one over here. So put in the lesson last time, which is by Sri Charudev Shastri Ji. Charudev Shastri Ji was one of the elders of Bhimsen Shastri Ji. This book is, Panini reinterpreted. It contains the Karaka Prakranam, Tamasa Prakranam. So it's a very nice book in English. It's also very well written. So it's a small book. If you can get this one, it will be good. So Dvitiya Tatpurusha, it says Subanta word in Dvitiya is compounded with the Subanta words Shita, Atita, Patita, Gata, Atyasta, Prapta, Apanna for Tatpurusha compound. The various examples are given here. Now, let's look at a simple example. If you take, so now in this sutram, what is the Pratama Nirdishtam is the word Dvitiya. So by obviously the word which is Dvitiyantam Padam, which is going to take the Purnipataha. This should be so straightforward. The word Dvitiya is the Pratama Vibhakti in this Samas Vidhayaka Sutram. So therefore by the Sutram Pratama Nirdishtam Samas Upasajanam Purvam, the Dvitiya Vibhakti, the word which is in Dvitiyantam Padam, will take Purnipataha. And these will go as the Uttarapadam. Uttarapadam should be one of these. So one more thing is that this word Shita, Atita, Patita and all these, the Pratyakta normally comes, this also been done many times in the class, we'll do it one more time, is any Krit Pratyaha. As a default is Kartari Arthe by Kartari Krita. Kartari Krita, like the word Karta, Harakaha, Karakaha, all these words, any Krit Pratyaha as a default is Kartari. But we know many of them are not Kartari. Like Kartavyam, Mayadam Kartavyam. This should be done by me. Dushkaram is Dukkhena Kriyate, which is done with difficulty. So that is not the doer. Dushkaram is something which is done with difficulty. So now, how come then some of these are not going Kartari? Because Apavada here is that Tayoreva Krityakta Kadarthaha. The Kritya Pratyaya, which is called the potential participles, which Panini does in 3.1 from 3.195 onwards, I think from the 3.1.132 point, there's the Pratyaya of Krityaha. So what we call as potential participle, the Kartavyam, Bhoktavyam, Karaniyam, etc. So those go only in the passive. Not only those, but also the ones which are the Pratyakta, which is what you're using right now, should be in the passive. And then Kalarthaha. Kal also is the Pratyaya which is coming here in 3.3.126, I think it is, onwards. So Kal, meanings of Kal. So then how come this, so Shita would be one who is resorted to. Shri is to resort to. Shita will be one who is resorted to, not the one who is taking refuge himself or who is resorting. But then how can we then justify, if you look at the meaning over here, if we look at this, Krishnam Shitaha, one who has taken refuge, so he is the doer, taking refuge of Sri Krishna, Krishnam Shita, Krishna Shitaha. Then what we say is that 3.4.70 itself has another below that, which is says that 3.4.70 was Tayoreva Krityakta Kalartaha. Tayoreva means Bhavakarmanoho Eva. So Bhavakarmanoho Eva, they come only in the passive. So Pratyakta will come only in the passive. But it has an Apavada, which says that Apavada means it's Kartari cha. So Kartari comes in these meanings. This will come, the Kta will come. This is very important, Sutram 3.4.72. Simple example, which says that, maybe I shouldn't say Apavada, I should say that it comes Kartari. The right term is Kartari. Comes Kartari. So Kartari will come, let's say Ramaha Vanam Gataha. Rama has gone to the forest. Simple example which you give all the time. So Rama has gone to the forest. He has not been gone to. You can also say Ramena Vanam Gatam. Ramena Vanam Gatam Ityapi Bhaktum Shakyate. Athva Ramaha Vanam Gataha. Now how come we went both ways like that? We went one made passive, one made active. Because Gatyartha. Any dhatu in the sense of Gati, motion, can go in the active also. Okay? Also Akarmaka. Akarma can go. Of course it can go. Like Balaka Suptaha. The boy is sleeping. He cannot be slept on. So the boy is sleeping. Balaka Suptaha. Atra Sthitaha Balaka. He's standing here. So Akarmaka. And some other dhatus also there. So right now Gatyartha. Gatyartha, these dhatus can go in the active. Kartaricha. The Pratyakta can be used after Gatyartha dhatu in the active also. Kartaricha Prayujyate. So all these which have been used in this sutram, which is this Shita, Atita, Patita. Now how do we know that? How do you know that they are Kartari Arthe? Because the fact that Dvitiya has been connected with that, means that there must be a Karta somewhere. So if you have a karma, this Krishna is the karma here. So somebody has taken refuge of Shri Krishna. Now the fact that we have a karmani dvitiya here, to get a karma, there must be a karta. There must be a karta. You cannot have the object of an action when there is no doer of the action. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? So the fact that these are being compounded with a dvitiyantam padam, and we're using karmani dvitiya, then these must be kartarya. Also, one more thing, we say ramena vali hataha. That vali hataha, that hataha is not kartari, it's karmani. So Vali was killed by Rama. That hataha cannot take an object now. This is one more thing very important to keep in mind. The fact that some dhatu is taking a karma, is connecting with a karma vachaka shabda, means that pratyaya which is being after the dhatu must be kartari arthe. One more time, is that if there is a karma connected with a dhatu, that the pratyaya which the dhatu has taken must be kartari arthe. Otherwise, it cannot take a karma like that. So that must be in the active voice, must be the doer. When you can say, Ramaha Sitam Pashyati. Pashyati, that the pratyaya, that pratyaya, if we use kartari arthe. We say, Ramena Sita Drishyate. Drishyate is not kartari. You cannot take that dhatu drish and drishyate. Cannot take, another ditya, karma in ditya over there. It cannot become. Anyway, so the fact that this one has taken a, the Dvitiyantam, I should say Dvitiyantam. The Dvitiya has come there. I should maybe rephrase that. Is that not just karma, but Dvitiya has been used. Karma has become anabhita. Anabhita karma is there. Anabhita karma is there with a dhatu. In that case, we know that the pratyaya uses dhatu is kartari arthe. Otherwise, you cannot get the Dvitiya vibhakti like that. So I should take it back. Is that we should get anabhita karma, which is the because. When we say Ramena Sita Drishyate, Sita is seen by Rama. Sita still has the karma sanya. Rama is still the karta, but Sita has become abhita. Abhita means that verb is connecting that pratyaya, ending pratyaya, this tritiya ek, this pratham purusha ekvachanam is coming because of Sita. Sita is dictating that thing pratyaya which was going to take. Sita has become abhita. Abhita means that Sita has been described by that drishyate. Now I'm digressing too much, but what I'm talking about is that all the vibhaktis are defined are ordained in 2.3. In 2.3 is a single pada of Ashtadhyaya which says which vibhakti to use in what circumstance, and there it says anabhite. Anabhite starts there. So all these rules, the karma in dvitiya, etc., they are only if the karma is anabhita. Anabhita. If you have anabhita karma, if you see, then if you look at the dhatu to which that anabhita karma is connecting, the pratyaya with that dhatu better be in kartari arthe. Otherwise this cannot happen. So when you say Ramaha Sitam Pashyati, when the Sitam is the anabhita karma, taken dvitiya vibhakti anabhite, karmani dvitiya, then if it's the object of the dhatu drish, then drish better take a pratyaya with kartari arthe. So here we have Krishnam Shitaha, and here this is the anabhita karma taking karmani dvitiya. So this better be kartari arthe, and that can only come by using this 3472. 3472, which says the gatyartha karmaka ityadi vishcha. And so in all of these, this has been 3472 has been used. Okay. So the Krishnam Shitaha. Now, okay, one more thing. There's one more little complication here. Is that this karmani dvitiya, there's another sutram which says that the kartu karmanoho kriti. Kartu karmanoho, again, this is not today's topic, but this is important to see how we got dvitiya vibhakti in Krishnam. So this one says that the kartru and the karma, which is connecting with a krudanta padam, krudantam, with the krut pratyaya, that will take the shashti vibhakti. So this is a very Amaji Sutram, isn't it? Katsu karmanoho kriti. So 2365, Katsu karmanoho kriti. So that one says that shashti bhakti has to be used for a karta and a karma. When there is that krut prayoge, when the krut pratyaya has been used, then in that case, Katsu karmanoho kriti. Now we have krut pratyaya right now, because right now we have this word shita. Shita is ending the pratyaya kta. The kta has the krut sanya by krudating. So now how do we get out of this shashti now? This stuck with the Shashti Vibhakti. Kartakarmanoho, this is very important sutram. Kartakarmanoho kriti. So if you have Krut Prayoge, when you have Krudantam, which is connecting with either Karta, for example, this is Balakasya Hasanam. Balakasya Hasanam. So the boys laugh. Krishnasya Kritihi. So it is, Jagatah Karta. How about that? Jagatah Karta is a good example. Jagatah Karta, the maker of the world. Jagatah Karta. Jagat is the karma of that of the Karta. Jagatah Karta. So he is the, but we also, so that is the karma. Krishnasya Kritihi. Shri Krishna's action. Right? So now, so this is the, so Jagatah Karta. So see, Jagatah is Shashti, but Jagat was the karma. Jagatah Karta. Krishnasya Kritihi. So the in this case, Krishna is the Karta. Jagatah Karta, Jagat is the karma. Became Jagatah Shashti. Vishwasya Karta. Vishwasya became Shashti, not Dvitiya. Even though Vishwa is the karma, Vishwasya Karta, because the word Karta is ending in Karta and in Pratyaya Trich, which has the Krit Sanya. So when you say Vishwasya Karta, not Vishwam Karta, but Vishwasya Karta. Kartu Karmano Kriti. Same thing, Krishnasya Kritihi, Krishna's action. So now that Kriti is also a Krit Pratyaya involved in there. The Karta of that is Krishna, Krishnasya Kritihi. Not those, that will take Shashti Bhakti over there. So then how do we get out of this situation? Now, this is very important. Apavada is down here. This is not today's topic. So if you want to take for homework, look at details, is that no. Lokavya nishtha kadarthatrana. Let's not look at all these in details today. It's like the word, if you have an avyayam, for example, annam bhuktva gacchati, annam, not annasya bhuktva, annam bhuktva. Even the pratyaya pratyaya has the kristanya because the thing, which is an avyam, Krishna avyam, because of the, because avyam is created by how many, only ashtade, there are only 5 rules created in avyam, only 5 rules. And they are surah nipatam avyam, we see in great detail in the daily examples. And then we have tva tosun kasunaha. It's annam bhuktva, because the twantam padam is an avyayam. So what happens is that this 2.369 is saying that with if no, this stops Shashti. This is again Nishida Sutram for Shashti. So if we have la, like we have a lakara desha, like we have like a present participle, like pashyan. And you say vanasya shobham pashyan Ramo gacchati. So pashyan, shobham pashyan, not shobhayaha pashyan. So that when you take a shatru pratyaya or shanush pratyaya, again there will be no shashti with that. We'll go back to dvitiya. Basically, shashti is stopped in these cases. So na, lo, u, uka, some pratyas mentioned here also, and avyaya and nishtha. So taktavatu nishtha. So if you have a nishtha pratyaya, then along with that, this Kartru karma they will not take the this Shashti, they will go back to the Karmani Ditya. So basically this 2.369 is helping us out in stopping Shashti in this case. So we don't get the Krishnasya Shritaha, Krishnam Shritaha, even though we have the Pratyaya over here, which is the Krut Pratyaya, this is the karma, Anubhita karma of that. So Kartru Karmanoho Kriti 2.365 would have come. But then na lokavya nishtha kadarthat sadam. This is the sutram here. Let's look at 2.369. Again, since this is not today's topic really, won't spend more time on that, but we look at 2.369 for 1 second. This is very important. So basically 2.365 is the one you want to keep in your mind. If you can find 65, you're going to look for 69 after that. Look for 69 after that, because that is an important Nisheda Sutram for this one. It says that Shashti pratishidyate. Shashti is stopped by this one. La, u, uka, avyaya, nishtha, kalar, thra. The meaning of kalar, tha, trun, iti ete sham, Shashti bhakti na bhavati. Shashti bhakti is stopped by this one. Shashti is stopped by this one. So, okay. So Shashti is stopped by this one. So it's basically Nishaya Sutram for 2.365. We get Krishnam Shritaha. Now Krishnam Shritaha is straightforward, I think, because Krishna plus is the alaukika vigraha technical breakdown. Shita plus 2. As usual, we're using the sutram 2.124. 2.124 is what we are using over here. 2.124, which is 2.124. Right? This is the very first one after the Dvigushcha Sutram Dvitiya Shitatita patita gatatyasta prapannapannaihi. So dvitiya shita, shita atita, atita, shita atita, patita, gata atyasta, gatatyasta prapannapannaihi. So dvitiya can be compounded with one of these terms, and because dvitiya is prathamanidishtam, it is purunipataha, it will form a tatpurusha compound. This is called dvitiya tatpurusha compound. So 2124 is being used. Again, prathamanidishtam samasa upasajanam, upasajanam purvam. The word dvitiya was prathamanidishtam. So this dvitiyantam padam, which takes purnipataha. As usual, supluk by 2471, supodhara padipatikayoho. And because paravalingam dhanata purushayoho, straightforward, because the word shita is an adjective. I mean, presume it's qualifying somebody masculine. Krishna shitaha janaha. You say somebody devadattaha. So it becomes qualify that. Could have been Krishna shita also, if it's feminine. But we are assuming right now this word shita, which is an adjective, is qualifying someone masculine. Krishna shitaha devadattaha arpatya ramavat. So add su and get the Krishna shitaha by in Ruttu Visargau. Similarly, dvandvatitaha comes in Gita. Good example in Gita. So chapter 4 again in Gita. This will be good. So dvandvam atitaha, one who has gone beyond the pairs of opposites. So yadrichala vasantushto dvandvatita vimattaraha. When you chant this shloka, think of this sutram 2124. Dvandvatitaha, dvitiya shitatita, shitatit atitaha, shitatita patita gatatyasta praptapannaihi. So atita is in here. So dvandvatita vimattara comes in Gita. So 4.22, good example. So dvandam atitaha, same thing over here. Dvandam will take purnipataha, dvandvatitaha. So kupam patitaha, so kupa patitaha, fallen in the well, kupam patitaha. Antagatam, comes in Gita again, 728. If you missed in chapter 4, you can look at chapter 7, 728. Yeshantantagatam papam, janam punya karmanam. Sorry, I'm on the wrong page. This is Bhagavad Gita page 728 in Gita. Another example for you of the same sutram, which is the 728, which is Yeshantantagatam papam, qualifying papam. So it is this papam which has gone to the end, which has been basically exhausted. So antam gatam is antagatam. Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam. So on. Okay. So comes in Gita 728. So antam gatam, which has gone to the end, antagatam. Then sukham praptam, sukha praptaha, one who has obtained happiness. Dukkham apannaha. The word apanna, this apad dhatu is pad over here. The pad becoming panna is sutram 8242. If you have a radabhyam, if it's dhatu ending in the repa or dakaraha, this is just telling you how the word panna was formed. Apanna, because dhatu is pad, nishtha, pratyaya, the ta becomes the takara of nishtha becomes nakaraha, and also the pura dakara also becomes a nakaraha. So basically 8242 is not today's topic, just on the side I'm mentioning this, is this one is used to form the word apanna from the upasarga ang, dhatu pad, and then the pratyaya, nishtha pratyakta, and first you check for the in nishedabad. In all these places, you want to make sure that the id agamaha is not coming. So we say in the danteshu list, so danteshu. I'm talking about 7 to 10. In nishedha, danteshu ada, kshuda, khida, chida, tuda, nuda padya. This is dhatu pad. This dhatu pad is a very important dhatu, which is prayana upasarga purva. It always has upasarga prior, like sampanna, apanna, vipanna, prapanna, almost never panna, almost never padyate, upapadyate, patipadyate, sampadyate, all of these forms are seen with dhatu pad, but almost never on its own. So anyway, when you form the nishtha pratyaya, in that case, what happens is that the nishtha takara becomes nakaraha, nishthato nakaraha. So nishthayaha takarasya nakaraha, and purvasya cha dasyapi nakaraha. So that pad becomes pan, and the pratyakta also, the nakara, the takara becomes nakara, pratyaya also. So dhatu's dakara becomes nakaraha, so does the pratyaya takara become nakara, so pad plus ta becomes panna, 8242. Anyway, dukkham apannaha, one who has kind of fallen on hard times, come upon sorrow, one who has hit sorrow, apannaha, apad. Dukkham apannaha, one has contacted sorrow. Now, there is one vartikam over here. So let's look at the book one more time. We'll come back to this one. There's one vartikam here, which is, in fact, in the book he mentions kartariktaha, by the way. In the book he has mentioned kartariktaha. That's what the 3472, gatyartha. Okay? So you're talking about that earlier. Now, the vartikam says that gamyadina upasankhanam. So gramam gami. This because here we only got authority with only these specific words. Only these specific words. So we got the only shita, atita, patita, gata, atyasta, prapta, apanna. By the way, also atyasta. I didn't give you all the examples. We also have the word atyasta over here also. That can also be used. So I haven't given an example of atyasta, but that is included in there also. So this is not an exhaustive list over here, but just give you some examples just as a flavor. But this says that besides these specific words, we can also use some others. Gamyadi, in this word gami, so gramam gami, one is going to the village, so grama gami. So these one, these can also be there. There are some. There is also some flexibility here, because not only those specific words, but some others can also be compounded. So this is going to be a kind of a loophole to extend that domain of Dvitiya Tatpurusha. So this word gami is formed from the unadi pratyaha. If we look at apteji for the second word, what the word gami will mean. But this is unadi pratyaha, gami. So gamin. So this can be extended. In fact, there's also, if you can look at one more thing in the Gita, we have example like annam bhuvukshuho is one who wants to eat food. He becomes anna bhuvukshuho. The word bhuvukshu is not in that list of 2124. Now, kamepsu comes in Gita. Yattu kamepsu na karma sahankarina va punaha kriyate bahulayasam to the rajasa mudharatam. So rajasa karma is defined, the word kamepsu na. So kamam ipsuho, one who hankers after desires and after pleasures, the kamepsu. So this one was not in the list. So next time when you chant this shloka of the Gita in chapter 18:24, yattu kamepsuna karma sahankarina va punaha kriyate bahulayasam tad rajasamudharatam. So this kamepsuho is, kamam ipsuho. Ipsuho is aptumichuho, one who has a desire to obtain pleasures. Kamepsuna karma. So that you can think of this vartikam. So next time you chant kamepsuna, and comes in the prior shloka also, phalaprepsuho. So phalani. So you can say phalani prepsuho. To be phalani also, but it doesn't have to be singular. Remember one thing in the compound, because you get the supluk in the compound, it doesn't have to be singular. It could be annam, it can be kaman also. So kaman is, because whether the pratyaya is or pratyaya is shas, it will take supluk anyway. So don't, because this we don't know. So this is ekavachanam. Of course, Krishna is ekavachanam over here. So it could be here kaman ipsu also. So this one extends that. By the way, the word gami is a passenger. He says intending to go, as in gramam gami. One who intends to go to the village. This is grama gami, or passenger of the village going to the village. Now, kamepsuho in Gita, a very good example, which is gamyadinam upasankhyanam. You could not form this compound just from the sutra, because there is no this word. This is the sananta dhatu ending with pratyaya uhu, and so there is no mention of that in this sutra over here. We only have shita, atita, patita, gata, tyasta, prapanna, prapta apannaihi. So we extend that. If you find something which is not in that list, particularly word like this one, kamepsuho, you to extend that. Now, there comes one more sutram, which is the next point in the book. This was the main sutram for Dvitiya Tatpurusha. Then comes the accusative of duration. Can be form a compound with the participles and nouns. So it's a varsham yajnaha, lasting for 1 year. Now, first of all, how this is not karmani ditya. This not this ditya is not karmani. Not karmani. This is what's called atyanta sanyoge. So let's look at that sutram. First is what sutram is prescribing ditya in this case. It is the kaladvanoho atyanta sanyoge. Kaladvanoho. Any vibhakti assignment has to be made in 2.3. Always remember that. You want to justify any vibhakti you say in this language, you have to find a sutram in 2.3, which will authorize that. So kaladvanoho. So kaladvanoho atyanta sanyoge. Kaladvanoho atyanta sanyoge. Atyanta sanyoge means an action is done for a continuous period of time or distance, not intermittently. So like, for example, so masam patati, masam vasati. He lives for a full month, not he comes and goes. So kalavakachika shabda and also the advan means a road. This distance, so time or distance, this will take dvitiya. If an action is done continuously for that time or that distance. Very simple sutram, very important sutram. Kaladvano atyanta sanyoge. And that dvitiya can also now compound. Will also now compound. For example, this one given here is that, let's look at 2132 in the Siddhanta Kaumadi. Let's get the blessings of Bhattacharya Dikshitaha by reading what he's written for us. You might think, that, oh no, all these acharyas have now gone. They are no longer there to help us. Kayata is gone. Bhattacharya is gone. Nagesha is gone. Panini is gone. But they are already still there for us. If you read what they have written with attention and with reverence, they will give you knowledge. Even now they will give you knowledge. If you read, with great respect what they have written, these acharyas can almost these acharyas can almost come to life for us again. They really can. They really can. Because sometimes when you read something, it just hits you. Something hits you, and it really is the blessing of the acharya telling you, this is what I mean over there. So I also, this is not just making up. Anyway, so please read what's written by Bhattacharya, what he says. Even though they may not be here today for us, we can get their blessings and get their knowledge from them by reading what they've written. So kala ityeva. So aktantartham. So ktanta. So the prior sutram was talking about the with a pratyakta. So the pratyakta is not being used. So this vachanam is that this kalaha atyanta sanyoge cha. So kalaha ityeva. So kalavachaka shabdaha. So kalaha. So that kalaka vacha sabda will be which is going to be this is the prathama nirdishtam samasupajanam, will become the first member of the compound. So muhurtam sukham. It's happiness which lasts for one muhurtam. So muhurtam sukham, muhurta sukham. The prior sutram it was saying is that anatyanta sanyogartham vachanam. If you have masa pramitaha, this is much more, not a very common compound. The pratyakta is being used at the end, and also you can use the kalavachaka shabdaha. But this one is saying atyanta sanyoge. You don't need a ktanta shabdaha. Any shabda can be used as long as atyanta sanyoga is there. So there is atyanta sanyoga. So this atyanta sanyoge cha is referring to 235, which we just saw that. Kaladvan or atyanta sanyoga. Of course, that we're talking only of a kalaha. We don't need the word advan right now. We're talking only kalaha, because this compounding is only being authorized for the kalavachak shabdaha. So when something is being done for a continuous period of time, that period of time can be compounded with that event or action which is being done for that period of time. That's what it means. So the commentary of Bhattacharya says that kalaha ityeva is kalavachak shabda only is coming in this one, and aktantartham vachanam. This doesn't have to be any in the pratyakta. Aktantartham vachanam. See, what I'm saying is that Siddhanta Kaumadi, if you understand one line, 2 lines, 3 words, 4 words, Siddhanta Kaumadi is only not a big book. It's quite a small book actually. That's the entire Vyakaranam of the whole language is in that book. If you understand 1 line or 2 lines, that is good for you. Slowly, step by step, you get the confidence to go further and further. Even simple things like this. Simple things. The kalaha ityeva is only after a compound with kalavachaka shabdaha. Ktantam ending the pratyakta. Means not ending pratyakta. So, ktantartham vachanam. So this sutram is being composed because you don't need to have a ktanta shabda in this sutram. He gives example, muhurtam sukham, muhurta sukham. So what we have here in the document is that, same thing I put in document here. In the book, what we have is the book he gives, is the example he gives that, Varsham Yajna, Varsha Yajna is Yajna which should last continuously for 1 year, by the way. That's what it means. Okay, so this is a special, this is a special Sutram 2129. So 2129 is basically authorizing these words which denote period of time to compound with an event or an action which is done for that period of time. Atyanta Sanyoge Cha. So when you think about Atyanta Sanyoge Cha, immediately think of the Sutram 235. These two connect with each other, by the way. These two sutras connect with each other, which is the Kaladvanur Atyanta Sanyoge, that is a sutram which authorizes the Dvitiya in this case. Then Atyanta Sanyoge Cha authorizes the compound formation. That one is only for Kalaha. The Atyanta Sanyoge Cha is only for Kalaha. Okay, so that is basically a brief description of these Dvitiya Tatpurusha compounds. Let's go to the next one now, which is the Tritiya Tatpurushaha. A noun in the instrumental denoting the agent or the instrument can form a compound with a verbal form, especially with the passive participle. Okay. Now this is not the first sutram actually in this section, but I can understand why Anton takes it first, because it is used more often than the other one. So from here, Panini starts Tritiya. Tritiya, Tatkritarthe. We're going to see this one. This one is going to come in the point number 3, point number C. This number C over here is going to be this one. Tritiya, because Tritiya starts from here. Tritiya. So Trityantam Padam can be compounded with these. Tatkritarthena Gunavachanena. So this is going to come later in point number C. Right now we're looking at this one. Kartrikarane Kritabahulam. Kartrikarane Kritabahulam. Kartrikarane Kritabahulam. Very, very important sutram. Kartrikarane Kritabahulam. For example, we can say, my famous example is Ramena Banena Vali Hataha. So Vali was killed by Sri Rama using an arrow as an instrument. You can say Rama Hataha Vali. So Vali was killed Rama Hataha. So Ramena Hata Rama Hataha Vali. You can also say Bana Hata Vali. So Rama, so he was killed with an arrow, because the Kartru or Karana can compound, can go into this compound. So Kartikarane Kritabahulam, very important sutram. Let's look at what Bhattoji says for that. Kartikarane Kritabahulam says here is that Kartari Karane Cha Tritiya. Tritiya, because Tritiya can be used in various meanings. Not only because we again see now you're realizing that these two sections of this Vidikrana Tatpurushaha is interconnected with the section in 2.3, which is the Vibhakti Vidhayaka Prakaranam, Vibhakti Prakaranam. So because to form a compound using a Trityantam Padam, obviously you have to first know how Tritiya came in the first place, right? Because if Tritiya is not Vihita, there's no question of forming Samasa Prashna Evanasti. There's no question of forming the compound. In fact, we'll go one step further and say that sometimes Panini will say that we're going to see later on in this lesson, is that Chaturthyantam Padam can be compounded with this. Now we had no sutram to authorize Chaturthi in the first place. Then how can we form the compound when the Chaturthi itself is not authorized? So that Samasa Vidhanam becomes a Nyapakam. The fact that Panini is saying the Chaturthi ending word can be compounded with this, which Chaturthi must be authorized in the first place. No question of forming a compound. So this becomes a reverse way almost. The Samasa Vidhanam becomes a Nyapakam for the Vibhakti Vidhanam. In any case, no matter what it is, if you want to form a compound with Trityantam Padam has to compound, the Tritiya must be authorized in the first place. So Tritiya authorized, so because why I'm bringing it up, because this sutram says Kartu Karane. So Tritiya is used, and by the way, in this sutram, Kartu Karane can be taken as Saptami Eka Vachanam. Look at the vritti of Bhattoji. Kartari Karane Cha. What Bhattoji says. Saptami, Kartari Karane Cha. But you may also take this as the Prathama Dvivachanam. Prathama Dvivachanam. Prathama Dvivachanam. The Kartu Karane could be Prathama Dvivachanam. So one more time. Kartu Karane could be Saptami Eka Vachanam of Kartu Karana. Samahara Dvandva compound. Kartu Karana. It could also be the Prathama Dvivachanam, like Vanam Vane Vanani. So 180. So Prathama. So this could be Prathama Dvivachanam, but looking at Siddhanta Kaumudi says Kartari Karanecha. So we take it as Saptami Ekvachanam. So Tritiya Anuvatti is coming down. So Tritiya in these two senses, that can compound. So Kudantena Samasyate Bahulam Pragvat. When Bhattoji says Pragvat, as before, same as before. So Pragvat means just as before. What did he say before? Before he has already said that Tritiyantam again says Pragvat. So Pragvat goes back to here. Is Saha Va Samasyate Satatpurusho Bhavati. So this is, by the way, this Va always is coming down because Vakyam is always possible in these cases. You can say Ramena Hataha and say Rama Hataha. You can say Krishnam Shitaha, Krishna Shitaha. This is not Nitya Samasa. This is you can have a Vakyam because let's not forget this Mahavibhasha is coming from way back here. Is that the Vibhasha, the Sutra Vibhasha. So unless Pani says Nityam somewhere else, from here on, it's Vibhasha, means Vakyam pi sambhavati. You can also have the Vakyam. That is why Bhattoji says here clearly Va Samasyate. So this part is Pragvat. So this will be Va Samasyate Satatpurusho Bhavati. This becomes Tatpurusha compound. So same thing here. He says Pragvat means just as before. Before means that Kartri Karane Chattitya Kudantena Bahulam. Then you continue from here. Sahava Samasyate Satatpurushaha. It compound optionally means in Pakshe Vakyam api. Pakshe Vakyam. Vakyam of Satatpurusha compound. So now Titiya is, we can go touch very briefly on where Titiya is authorized in Ashtadhyayi. And that will be in 2.3. 2.3 from here. And there Aporage Titiya is one Titiya, but then comes the Kartukarna Yos Titiya. So yes, Titiya can come in Kartukarna, but it also comes in some other meanings also. Sayukte Pradhane comes over there. It comes Heta also, by the way. Important. So this will not generally compound. So this is not generally compound. When we look at some situation where it might compound, but as of this sutram, it only gives the authority to form a compound when the Titiya is used Kartukarna Yoho. Because, so this is again, so these again, you see the connection here now. This is the Titiya Vidhayaka Sutram, Kartukarnayos Titiya, that connects us with this one over here in the compounding section, which says that, which is Kartukarne Krita Bahulam, this one, Kartukarne Krita Bahulam. So 2.132 connects with this 2.3.18. Okay, he gives a Harinath Rata, just a quick example. Harinath Rataha, Haritrataha is protected by Sri Vishnu. Harinath, somebody is protected by Sri Vishnu. Harinath Rataha, Haritrataha. Nakher Bhinnaha, Nakha Bhinnaha. Something which is split or cut by the nails. Nakher Bhinnaha. Something which is split by the nails. Nakha Bhinnaha. These are adjectives, by the way. This Rata and Bhinnaha are adjectives. Say Devadatta, Athva, Yogi, you can say whatever. Prahladaha. Haritrata, Prahladaha. So Prahlad is protected by Sri Vishnu, Haritrataha. So Nakabhinna will qualify something masculine, so it will be like that. Now, quickly go to this work should be straightforward here. I made a note over here. This can be taken Napumsakalinga Prathama Dvivachanam or Saptami Ekavachanam. Let's take it like this because Siddhanta Kaumudi Vyakhyanam is as per Saptami Ekavachanam. So Devain Rakshitaha. So Daivena Rakshita, he is protected by fate, by good luck. He is protected by that. So Daivena, so Daivam is the Kartru over here, Kartru. He was protected by Haritrataha, Daivena Rakshitaha. Straightforward. Now these steps should be easy for you now, which is you get the, so Daivena is the Pratya, this is the Tritiya Ekavachanam. We just saw that Sutram, Kartukarnayos Tritiya. Now, by the way, today's class, you've seen these three rules which are confusing, okay? These three rules. One is this one. Kartukarnayos Tritiya. Okay, one. Because the word Kartu and Karna come in these three rules and they're confusing to the mind, you know. One is this one. Kartukarnayos, this is in 2.3, 2.3.18. So this sutram is authorizing Tritiya Vibhakti. In these two, for these two, the Kartu and Karna, we'll take the Tritiya, Kartukarnayos Tritiya, Kartukarnayos Tritiya. And then, so in these two meanings, Tritiya will be used, Kartukarnayoho Tritiya. Now, so this is Saptami Dvivachanam, Kartukarnayos Tritiya. That's one. Then we just saw the sutram which we are using to, form the compound. And that is says Kratru Karane Kruta Bahulam. Kratru Karane Kruta Bahulam. So Kratru, Titya in the sense of Kartari or Karane can be used to form a compound. The second one. So we have 2, 3, 18. Kratru Karanayo Titya. 2, 3 which is the Vibhakti Vidhaka Sutram. This 2, 1, 32. Kratru Karane Kruta Bahulam. That's the Samas Vidhaka Sutram. Samas Vidhaka Sutram. And then we just saw today another sutram which says Katsu Karmanoho Kruti. These sound very similar. They are very, very confusing. So Katsu Karmanoho Kruti is the Shashti Vidhayaka Sutram. Katsu Karmanoho Kruti. So the Katsu and Karma will take Shashti when in connection with the Krit Pratyaya. So we have 2, 3, 18. Katsu Karnayo Tritiya, which is the Tritiya Vibhakti Vidhayaka Sutram. Katsu Karmanoho Kruti, 2, 3, 65. Shashti Vidhayaka Sutram. Then Katsu Karane Kruta Bahulam. That's the third one, which is 2, 1, 32, is a Tritiya Tatpurusha Samasa Vidhayaka Sutram. One more time, 2, 3, 18, Katsu Karanayor Tritiya, Tritiya Vidhayaka Sutram. Katsu Karmanoho Kriti, 2, 3, 65, Shashti Vidhayaka Sutram. Katsu Karane Kruta Bahulam, that's now 2.1 now, 2, 1, 32, Tritiya Tatpurusha Samasa Vidhayaka Sutram. So these three are very confusing. Mark them. Mark these three together, 2, 3, 18, 2, 3, 65, 2, 1, 32, and know exactly which one is where. Of course, as I told you many times, when you look at the number itself, when you see 2.3, immediately you should know in your mind, this is authorizing some vibhakti being authorized by this sutra. When you look at the number 2, 1, 32, immediately in your mind you should know this is authorizing some Tatpurusha compound. So that will keep you safe. You will not get confused between these three. So here we come, the Pratyaya Ta is authorized by 2, 3, 18, Katsu Karne or Tritiya. And then, of course, Pratyaya Su comes over here. So we get the Katsu Karane Kruta Bahulam. And then we do the Prathamanadishtam Samas Upasajanam. The Anurvati of Tritiya is coming down. Tritiyantam Padam. Tritiya is Prathamanadishtam in the Samas Vidhaka Sutram. So the Tritiyantam will take the Upasajana Sanya, Upasajanam Purvam. And then we get the Supluk by Supodhara Padvidikayoho. Then, of course, add the Supratyaha, become Daiva Rakshita. This is an adjective. So it's qualifying somebody masculine, become Daiva Rakshita, become Daiva Rakshita, as the case may be. Second, this is Kartru Arthe. So Daiva is the Karta here. Kartru, I should say. Napumsakam, so Kartru. So Daivam is the Kartru. So Daiva Rakshita, Haritrata, etc. Nakhair Bhinnaha is which has been split by the nails. So Nakha Bhinnaha, same steps, basically Pratyaya is this. Again, it doesn't have to, we don't know whether Pratyaya is this. You can say Nakhabjam, Nakhena, that we don't know. Final form will be the same because Supluk takes place, we don't know. The Antarvarti Sup which is there, we don't know which is Ekavachanam or Dvivachanam or Bhavachanam, Najñayate. So, again same thing, we got the same sutram over here, Katsu Karanayo Tritiya, and this Karanarthe. This is Karanarthe, this was Katrate, that's the only difference over here. But same set of rules. You get the Katsu Karanayo Kruta Bahulam, Prathamanadishtam Samas Upasajanam Purvam, Kruta Samasascha, Supodhadapadvidikayoho, and then add that Supratyaha Nakhavinnaha. Now comes the problem of its issue over here is that if I want to say Nakha Nirbhinnaha, completely split by the nails, Nirbhinnaha. So can I do that? Can I say Nakha Nirbhinna also? Because this sutram only authorized me to make the compound which says the Katsu Karane Kruta Bahulam, Sudanta Padam. Now, what I'm having is that I'm having a compound. The word nirbhinna itself is a gati samasaha. The gati samasa. It's formed a compound. Now, can I assume that I can also form a compound with a krudantanta padam? So, not only a kruta bahulam. So, as long as there is, even if it's a compound, as long as the krudanta padam is the end, can I still make the compound? Because just go back for 1 second to our sutram which says that yena vidhistadantasya, yena vidhihi. Like when you say, take a simple example, like when a vidhi is prescribed by Panini, using some visheshana in that case. Let me say ato lopaha, angasya adhikaraha, means adantasya angasya lopaha. When it says ato lopaha means adantasya angasya lopaha. That ataha is saying adantam angam. So when there's this visheshanam, like ataha, means adantadangat, adantasya angasya, tadantasya angasya. So when we have a visheshanam qualifying a, aupadeshikam padam, a technical term, means tadantasya. Which tadant, so when a vidhi is prescribed using this qualifying term, then tadantasya, that vidhi applies to a term ending in that. So erach, suppose erach, for example, erach is another example. Is when we have this Panini starts this thing of this bhavya karanam, sutram will be erach. Erach is the, so here we look at erach for a second. This is I'm explaining, with this not today's topic. What is the, let us look at 3356 for 1 second, okay? This is explaining what is the meaning of this sutram, yena vidhistadantasya. Let's look at 3356 for 1 second to understand what this means. It says that ivarnanta dhatoho. This ehe is panchami of e, like harehe. Now how do we get ivarnanta dhatoho? Because in the dhatoho adhikara we are in there. The dhatu is the aupadeshika term, is a technical term. When point says ehe, means panchami of e. So it means not only the e, but the term ending in e. So e varnanta dhatoho, whatever, something happens, the pratyaya at describes certain meanings. So when Pani says ehe, he means e varnanta dhatoho. Now can we do the same thing here, by the way? Because here we can say that, this one says, when Panini has now said karti karne kruta bahulam, this kruta can be taken as a qualifying. It says samarthena subantena. So can I just say then kruta bahulam will mean the kudantena, samarthena subantena samasyate. As long as the kudanta we have the subantam ending the krut pratyaya. Doesn't matter if it's compound or not. So can I say nakhed nirbhinna also, naka nirbhinna, because tadanta vidhi. It's called tadanta vidhi. Yena vidhi tadantasya. Can I use that here also? Because I can make an adjective for the so samarthena subantena, so subantena. That's a technical term, so I can take this and say, as long as I have a samartham subantam, connected subantam, ending in the krut pratyaya, I'm okay. Even if it's a compounded term, so what? Tadanta vidhi I can use. But the thing is we cannot use it. Because that sutram, which is 1172, has a vartikam on that. It says samasa pratyaya vidhau tadanta videhe pradishyado vaktavyaha. When we talk when in this samasa pratyaya vidhau, when doing samasas, tadanta videhe pradishyado vaktavyaha. So we cannot take something ending in that pratyaya. This is katukrina kruta bahulam, krut pratyaya. We just cannot say that it should be anything ending krut pratyaya, because vartikam on 1172 says that samaya pratyaya vidhau, samasa pratyaya vidhau, tadanta videhe pradishyado vaktavyaha. So we can say krishnam shitaha, krishna shitaha. So no iha. We cannot say krishnam upashitaha. So technically speaking, krishnam upashitaha will not compound. Because only shita was mentioned. Upashita cannot be used just like that. So the word shita will compound, but not the word ending in shita. So krishnam upashitaha, we only have vakyam. You cannot say krishna upashitaha. Technically, that's what this sutram says. But I do want to make the compound naka nirbhinnaha. Then how do I do that? There now comes the paribhasha. This paribhasha is krut grahane. Krut grahane. When the krut pratyaya is mentioned, krut grahane says that the krut is mentioned. Gatikaraka purvasyapi grahanam. Gatika. So when the krut pratyaya is mentioned, see the word shita. The specific word shita was mentioned. Didn't say the pratyakta. It says the word shita. So when shita is said, this is samasa vidhi, we cannot do tadanta vidhi, we cannot say krishnam upashita, krishno upashita iti vaktum na shakyate, samaso na bhavati, cannot be it. But now what do we have right now? Katukrane kruta bahulam. So just says kruta. It didn't say a specific word, just say the word krut pratyaya. So Indian krut pratyaya. So this paribhasha says that krut grahane. When the krut pratyaya is mentioned, or the word krut is mentioned, gatikaraka purvasyapi grahanam. So gati, shabda or karaka, relationship shabda, that also be included. So we can make the compound naka nirbhinnaha. the Paribhasha Sutram. So basically we have a three-step process here. First of all, we had 1172. Yena vidhistadantasya, yena vidhistadantasya. Let's look at that one briefly. This whole issue is about forming the compound nakha nirbhinnaha. That's all we're trying to do. The word nir has come in between there now. We have to somehow bring it in and form the compound. We first try to use 1172, which says that yena vidhistadantasya. So when there is something qualifying a technical term, an aupadeshika term, then we take tadanta vidhi. Like we says, when it says eracha, so ivarnanta dhatoho. We say as a dhatu ends in ivarna, we are fine. But that we could have tried to use that, but there is a vartikam which says that there is samasa pratyaya vidhau tadanta videhe patishado vaktavyaha. Says dvitiyantam shitadibhi sahasamasthite. We just saw that. Kashtashitaha, one who is in difficulty. Kashtashitaha, one who is encountering problems. So ihama bhoot kashtam paramashitaha. Parama is come, we cannot do it. Kashtam paramashitaha. But then it goes on to say that now we are stuck now. We cannot make nirbhinnaha. Then comes the paribhasha. Krit grahane gati karaka purva shapi grahanam. When the krit pratyaya is mentioned, the word krit is mentioned, then we can take it gati purvaka also and make the compound naka nirbhinnaha. So if you go to Siddhanta Kaumudi, it says kattakarni krita bahulam nakhair bhinnaha nakabhinnaha krit grahane gati karaka purva shapi grahanam naka nirbhinnaha. Okay. Now, Kartukarana iti kim? So why only Kartukarana? Why only not? Can we not take other tritiyas also? No, because Bhiksha vir ushitaha. So he is staying here in order to get Bhiksha. So Hetav, for the purpose, for the reason of that. For that reason he is staying here. So he is not the Kartru, not the Karana. He is saying that's the Hetu. So his Hetu in staying here is so that he can get Bhiksha. Doesn't compound. So Hetav esha titiya. This is Siddhanta Kaumudi. So every word you understand from Kaumudi is valuable. It is valuable. It increases your confidence. Because if you can do Siddhanta Kaumudi on your own, you don't need the class. You don't need the class. Because if you understand Kaumudi on your own, that's the objective of this class, is to take you beyond the class. Is hopefully by you get enough confidence that you can read Kaumudi on your own. Once if you can do that, then you don't, you're on your own. You can then explore and of course still ask questions. If you can follow what these statements are saying, then you're all set. Kartavi karane chitya kudantena bahulam pragvat. And pragvat means we went back here and we says that sahva samasyate satatpurushaha. We got that first part. He gives an example, Harinath Ratha. One more thing. All these examples are given with enormous care. Enormous. You cannot imagine. You really cannot imagine until you study some more. It's how much precision has gone in the examples. Enormous precision has gone. Because look at the example that he gives. He will not give any example that's going to be a waste. Punarukti dosha. Punarukti dosha means just redundancy. He will not give example which is redundant. No example will be just like repeating something as already said. There will be no such example in Siddhanta Kaumudi. The fact that he's giving an example means something new is being conveyed to you by that example, not something which is just repeated. So for example, he will not give like Haritrataha. You can say, Ramarakshitaha. No. There will be no such example in Siddhanta Kaumudi. Because he already gave one example of Kartari. Because he says, look at what he says. He says Kartari Arthe, Kartari. Give one example of Kartari. Harinatrata, Haritrataha. This Karane. Second example of Karane. When you see a Siddhanta Kaumudi example, ask the question, why this example is being given to you? What is being conveyed? So which situation being exemplified by this? So Nakhe Nirbhinna, this Nakha is Karnarthe. So he gave that. Then he had a problem with Nakha Nirbhinnaha. He brings the Paribhasha. Krit grahane kadikara purakasya grahanam. Then he says Katukrani tikyam. Why not Hetav? Diksha abhirushitaha. He's staying for the purpose of, for the reason of getting Diksha. Then Hetav esha titiya, he says. Then he says Bahula grahanam sarvopadi vyabhicharartham. Tena datrena lunavan ityado anna bhavati. So what he's saying is that, what is Bahulam? What is Bahulam over here? Is that in some sarvopadi vyabhicharartham, which means that there will be a number of situations where compounds must be formed, compound may not be formed. only from the usage you have to decipher whether this is. So example gives tena, datrena lunavan, somebody cut an instrument. No bhavati. So he says that this pratyak tavatu is not compounding. Is not even though everything is satisfied. Datram is an instrument. Datren lunavan. So now why not over here? Because you have the pratyaya. Doesn't mean that every krut pratyaha we can form titya tattva compound with every karta and every karana. There will be situations where some will not form compounds. So that is what the word bahulam says. Yes, there are some irregularities. There are some irregularities here which can only be explained. And there are too many to quantify. So Panini says bahulam. From the usage you have to understand. So this is like a knife, Datya and lunavan. So someone luna is to chop off. Datya and lunavan. So now here we cannot get the compounding is not to be done. Now how do you explain that? Because we had a nice sutam karane kuta bahulam. So then why do we not include this one over here? Because this is just from the word bahulam. So bahulam is this one doesn't compound. So lunaha is this loop is cut or chopped. Anyway, so that's what she gives over here. The book doesn't mention that, so that is fine. Coming back to the book now, is that in instrumental case denoting agent or instrument, karane, compound with a verbal form, especially the passive participle. So that's what we did this one. The point B, he goes on and says a noun in the instrumental can compound with the following adjectives, which is purva, sadrisha, sama, mishra, avara. Avara is a vartikam, and the synonyms. Okay, let's look at this one now. This is 2131. So 2131 is a sutram over here, 2131. So let's look at that, 2131. So this one says that purva, sadrisha, samas, unartha. Actually, these are synonyms of all of them. The word purva, the word sadrisha, samana, and unartha, the sense of being less. Then kalaha, nipuna, mishra, shlakshnaihi. With these specific words, and again, anurvati of titya is coming. Titya can compound with these specific words. So let's look at what the Kaumudi has to say. It says that here it is. Tityantam etaihi pragvat. This is the type which should be pragvat, not pragvat, should be pragvat. Pragvat means the same thing again, which is that sahavasamashyate tatpurusha bhavati. Tatpurusha compound. Now look at the example which he gives now. He is that masapurvaha. So masin, so he's earlier by 1 month. So when someone is older than 1 month, earlier than 1 month, masapurvaha. Pitru samaha. So it says pitru samaha. Then so he is equal to your father. Pitru samaha bhrata. So he is your elder brother who is like your father. Putra samaha. Then unarthaha. Una means lacking, less. So mashonam karshapanam. This is a measure. This is the karshapanam which is less by the mashonam. So masha vikalam. Vikalam is also defective, means deficient by the masha. So not only the word una, but unartha. So vikalam also is there. Then kalaha, vak kalaha. Kalaha is like an argument or a fight, quarrel. The quarrel which vacha kalaha. The quarrel by means of by using it's a verbal fight, vak kalaha, argument, verbal argument. So achara nipunaha. So achara nipunaha. So it's acharena nipunaha. So he is skillful on account of his conduct. So this is going to be acharena nipunaha. Guda mishraha, mixed with guda. This mishra, of course, the same English word mixed comes from the word mishra, Sanskrit word. So guda mishraha is gudaihi or gudena mishraha, which is mixed with guda, which mixed with jaggery. Achara shlakshnaha. Shlakshnaha means like he is very shlakshnaha, delightful. Shlakshnaha, look toward shlakshnaha. So it's again acharena shlakshnaha. Shlakshna is a less common word. So shlakshna means I think pleasing, gentle, mild, polished. So it is like that. So delicate. So these words can be compounded also. So purva, sadrisha, samasa, unartha. Unartha, again a typo here. Unartha, kalaha, nipuna, mishla, shlakshnaihi. So let's look at an example here. So it says masena purvaha. Again, the formation is straightforward. Take masa plus ta and pura plus su. It's an adjective. And because this is tritiya is anuvrutti is coming down, prathama nirishtam. Trityantam padam we take the pura nipataha. Same, this all the same steps as before. These same steps, Do supluk, nothing special over here. So masa purvaha. Guruna samaha, guru samaha. So it says then becomes sadrisha also. So jnana sadrisha, jnanina sadrisha. So which equal to knowledge. So sadrisha sama unartha kalaha nipuna. So padena unam, padonam rupyakam. Padonam, which is, so which is less than, so 3/4, less by 1/4, 3/4. So these specific words can be compounded. The word unartha means not only the word una, but you can say, vikala, or, something which is also synonym of una. They can also be compounded. And then there's a vartikam over here, avarasya upasankhyanam. So not only these, but avara. Avara means inferior, later, avara, smaller. So masena avaraha, masa avaraha. So he is younger by 1 month. So masa purvaha is who's earlier by 1 month. And masa avaraha, younger by 1 month. This is a vartikam. Because in fact the Kaumudi also has a vartikam over here. It says avarasya upasankhyanam. Masena avaraha, masa avaraha. So not only these purva, sadrisha, sama, unartha, kalaha, nipuna, mishra, slakshna, but also avara. So Katyayana says that avara should be included in that, masa avaraha, younger by 1 month. So this is basically a specific sutram which tells you that these specific words can be compounded. It's important sutram, but otherwise you will be stuck with these words which you will not be able to justify the compound. This is important. These are important words. Sama, sadrisha, una. All these are important words. Again, if you look at, let me see if I give you some more examples here. Looking at Charadev Shastri's book, so it says a subanta word with the third case is optionally compounded va samasyate with purva, sadrisha, sama, una and its equivalents, and with kalaha, nipuna, mishra, shlakshna. And then one more thing comment he makes here, by the way, is the tritiya case affix governing purva, etc. is nowhere specifically, or this is what I was talking about. The fact that Panini says that you can form a tritiya tatpurusha compound, tritiyantam padam with purva. Now there was no specific sutram which told us tritiya can be used in this manner. But this becomes a nyapakam. That masena purvaha that word masena can be used in this tritiya. So he says that tritiya case affix governing purva, etc. is nowhere specifically ordained. So this ordaining is of compounding. It becomes a purva, etc. indicates that the words in composition can take tritiya. So that's what he says. And then we says, so he given all the examples, same matra sadrishaha, matu sadrishaha, someone equal to your mother, padena unaha, dronena samaha, so which is at arjunaha, drona samaha, he was like dronacharya. Anyway, all these kind of compounds. So gudena mishraha, dhanaha, I guess, which is being mixed with jaggery, and all these compounds. Now there's one more point left in this one, and that one actually in the Ashtadhyayi order, that was the first one in the Ashtadhyayi order. In the Ashtadhyayi order, it was the first one which says that tritiya saptutarthena gunavachanena. This is a bit of a messy sutram, I must admit. Let's see what. So this one is the point number, I think, C in the book now, which is a noun in the instrumental, trityantam padam, can form a compound, it's a purusha compound, of course, with another noun, so samarthena subantena, and the latter is produced by the former. So this example here is a bit controversial. I'll tell you why in a second. Anyway, he gives the example is sadacharena sukham. So happiness produced by good conduct. But this is a bit of a problem here. Okay, I'll come back to this. Then he says, dhanyena artha, dhanya artha, wealth produced by grain. Okay, let's look at this sutram and we can stop with that today. Is this sutram here is, well, maybe you can look a little bit more. Okay, anyway, let's look at this one. This is a bit of complications here. This is the first sutram because Tritiya Anurutti comes from here. But this is a less common sutram. That's why Antoine gave it as number 3, point number C. But actually speaking, in the Ashtadhyayi order, this is from where Tritiya starts. Tritiya Tatpurusha Vidhanam starts from here. Tritiya Tattata Arthena Guna. The one that we just saw, which is Katyakara Nikrita Bahulam, is the most common one, given by Antoine as point number A, because it's the most common one. Also this one, Purva Sadrisha Ityadi, that's also coming later. Tritiya starts from here, but it is less commonly used than the others. So what does Bhattoji say now? Tatkrita iti lupta tritiyakam. This word tatkrita arthena, in that tatkrita arthena, this is not a compounding. What he's saying is that tatkrita is a tritiyantam padam, which has taken the supluk exceptionally. Because, you can say chandavat sutrani bhavanti. Sutras are like Vedas. It's Vedangam. So in Vedas you get supluk, pretty much without reason. Same thing in sutras also. You would have supluk without giving any reason for that. So this tatkrita arthena is very confusing. It's very confusing. This looks like a compound, tatkrita. It is not. It's tatkrita and arthena. And to make it even more confusing, this tatkrita, it means tatkritena and arthena. Tatkritena is going to qualify gunavachanena. That is the bad thing about this sutram, is that this first of all looks like a compound. It is not. Secondly is that tatkrita is a lupta tritiyakam padam. If you can understand what Bhattoji is saying, tatkrita iti, lupta tritiyakam. This is a Bahuvri compound. Lupta titiya yasya tat padam. It's a padam whose titiya vibhakti has taken luk. Supluk has taken place. Lupta. So it has taken lopa, which is specific. Luk can say. Luk is kind of lopa. So says tatkrita arthena gunavachanena. So tatkritena gunavachanena and arthena. So what the meaning becomes? Look at the vritti, by the way. Tritiyantam. Of course, straightforward. Tritiya is given there. Tritiyanta artha krita gunavachanena. Okay. Tritiyanta artha. Trityantam, let's look at an example. Just to Shankulaya Khandaha, Shankula Khandaha. It is a khanda is a part or a piece cut by this kind of a knife, instrument, kind of a knife or scissor, whatever. This is a piece cut by this knife. So Shankula Khandaha. Now Shankulaya Trityantam Padam is the word. Trityanta Artha. The meaning is a knife. Because Trityantam is only a word, it's a padam, it's a word. Trityanta artha means the meaning of that word ending in Tritya. So Shankulaya Trityantam padam. The meaning is a knife, and Shankula means a knife. So Kruta Gunavachanena. So when some property is imparted to this by means of this thing which is Trityantam. So this property of being a piece, of being, is being imparted by the knife. So this property of, of being a piece is being imparted by this knife. So Trityantartha Krita. Trityantam Padam is Shankulaya. Trityantartha, the meaning of the Padam is the Shankula, which is the knife. So Krita, done by that knife. Trityantartha Krita. Gunavachanena. Gunavachana means this some property is imparted to this. And then Artha Shabdena cha. This Arthena is completely separate part over here. So there are two parts of sutra. One is Tritiya, Tatkritena, Gunavachanena. That's one part. And then Arthena is second part, separate. Artha Shabdena cha saha pragvat. Pragvat means, just as before, it says Vasamasyate Tatpurushaha. One more time. If you have a Trityantam Padam, which is, and the meaning of that, whatever that item is imparting some property to something. something, then that can be compounded with that thing to make it a Purusha compound. That's one part of the Sutram. And the word Artha can also be compounded with a Yatyantam. The two completely separate parts, which is Tatkritena Gunavachanena, which means that Trityantartha Krita Gunavachanena, and then Artha Shabdena Cha. Okay, we'll stop with this, and then we'll take the example. We'll do this next time again. The example here is that this is Shankulaya Khandaha. So now, okay. Now this Tatkuta iti kim akshna karnaha. Now he is blind in one eye. So by one eye he is like squint or blind. Now this akshi was not the instrument by which the property of being blind or squint was imparted to it. So he is blind in one eye, or by one eye. By one eye he is blind, or he is squint. So now the squinting or the blinding was not caused by the eye. So unlike the Shankulaya Khandaha is that the knife caused, that would give the property of this to this Khandaha. So the property of being a piece was imparted to it by that knife. So the property of being, one-eyed was not given by the eye, given by something else. So this will not compound. Now in the book, the problem that I have with the book example is that this Gunavachanena. See, because look at these examples here. See, one of these things is that when you justify this compound, you try to match your situation with the example given in Kaumudi or Kashika or Mahabhashyam. It's like the legal system. If you have a court case and you already have another court case prior to you, which is ruled upon by the Supreme Court, you just match your case with that case. Now here we have the example Shankula Khandaha, etc. Now can we match it with this one Sadachara Sukham? This word Sukham is not really a Gunavachanena. It's not really, because this word Sukham is a noun in itself. Noun itself. I'm not sure it's coming in this same example. Khandaha is given the property by Shankula. And you have to think about for next. Okay, let's stop on that thought. Okay, we think about this next class. Can we form this compound Sadachara Sukham by this sutram or not? Okay, and now I want to leave you with the next. If you want to do some homework, look up this thing about the Yoga Vibhaga. See, this section, as you can imagine, leaves some loopholes. So there's some compound which cannot be justified using just these rules. There will be some Titiya Tatpurusha compounds which cannot be justified using just the Ashtadhyayi rules. We will use the technique of Yoga Vibhaga. Look up this word in the dictionary of Abhyankar, okay? Yoga Vibhaga for next time, okay? Yoga Vibhaga. Also, for next time, I already give numbers, which is these numbers for the Chaturthi Tatpurusha, and they are going to be 2136, 2136 Vartikam, and then Panchami also you have 2137 plus the Vartikam, also 2138 for Panchami Tatpurusha. Shashti we go 228. Then also this Ekadeshi Samasaha, there's a typo here, should be Ekadeshi Samasaha, 221, 225, and then 2140 and 2145. So let's stop with that, continue next time. So Ramo Rajamanistara Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Vijay Ramena Vihata Nishachara Chamo Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Paranam Parataram Ramasya Dasochmyaham Rameshistale Sada Bhotame Bhorama Mamuddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatsulyam Ramanama Varanane Shri Ramanama Varanana Om Namaiti. Yes, Anuj.